every single year, it seems to knock millions of us completely off our feet. Yep, we're talking about influenza, the flu. But is it really just a bad cold, or is it something more? Well, today, we're going to break down exactly what the flu is, how you can spot it, and, most importantly, the best ways to get ready for flu season.
You know that feeling, right? You wake up, your head is just pounding, every muscle in your body aches, and you feel completely, totally drained. And the first question that probably pops into your head is a big one. Is this just a really nasty cold, or is it the flu? And as we're about to see, knowing the answer makes a huge difference. So here's our game plan. First, we're going to finally settle that cold or flu debate. Then, we'll dive right into a symptom showdown. After that, we'll get into why the flu is so much more than just a bad cold, look at how this sneaky virus travels, and then we'll wrap it all up with your very own flu-fighting plan.
Okay, let's just jump right in and tackle this annual dilemma. You know, we toss around the words cold and flu, almost like they're the same thing. But here's the deal. They're caused by completely different viruses, and they need to be treated with different levels of respect. Getting that difference is step one to keeping yourself and everyone around you healthy. So what is the flu, officially? Well, at its core, influenza is an infection that targets your upper respiratory system. It's caused by a very specific type of virus, the influenza virus, and it absolutely loves to make an appearance during the autumn and winter months. All right, now for the main event. This is where we get to the real heart of it. It is time for the symptom showdown. Let's put the common cold and the flu side by side and see just how different they really are. Okay, look at this. This is where it becomes crystal clear. A cold, it kind of creeps up on you, right? You feel it coming on for a day or two. But the flu, nope, it hits you like a truck all at once. And the biggest clue is usually that fever. With the flu, you're often looking at a high fever, like 39 degrees Celsius or even higher. A cold usually just brings a mild one, if any. And the aches? With the flu, we're talking deep, full-body aches, not just some minor pains. And yeah, both can give you a sore throat and cough, but the flu throws in a killer headache and a kind of fatigue that just wipes you out completely.
And this thing works fast, I mean really fast. The time between getting exposed and feeling sick, the incubation period, is just 1 to 4 days. So you could literally feel perfectly fine on Monday, and by Tuesday afternoon, you are down for the count with all those intense symptoms we just talked about. It doesn't give you much warning at all. So why all this focus on telling them apart? I mean, who cares, right? Well, that brings us right here, because it really, really matters. The flu isn't just a souped-up version of a cold, it's playing in a completely different league when it comes to seriousness. And this is the key. You see, for most of us, getting the flu just means a truly miserable week spent in bed, and then you recover. But that's not always where the story ends. For some people, that initial infection can open the door to some way more serious health problems. And we're talking about some seriously scary stuff here, things like pneumonia, which is a dangerous infection deep in your lungs. The flu can also lead to something called myocarditis, that's inflammation of your actual heart muscle, and even cause neurological problems like changes in consciousness. And that is exactly why we need to take the flu so seriously. Okay, so that raises a pretty important question, doesn't it? How does a virus this powerful manage to spread so effectively every single year? To get that, we have to follow its invisible path from person to person. You know, the process is actually pretty simple, which is what makes it so effective. It all starts when someone who's sick coughs or sneezes. That sends out this little cloud of tiny droplets packed with the virus. If you're nearby and you breathe those in, well, that's it. But you can also get it indirectly. Those droplets land on things, doorknobs, phones, shopping carts. You touch that surface, and then a minute later you touch your face, and you've just given the virus a VIP pass into your body. So now we know the enemy, and we know how it moves. It's time to get proactive. Let's put together our flu-fighting plan, looking at both how to prevent it and how to care for yourself if you do get sick. You've probably heard that old saying, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Well, when we're talking about the flu, that has never been more true. By far, the best strategy is to just stop the virus from ever getting a foothold in the first place.
So what does a good defense look like? Well, it boils down to 4 simple, powerful things. Number 1, get the annual flu shot. That's your best line of defense. Number 2, simple hygiene. Wash your hands, and wash them often. Third, try to break that habit of touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. And finally, and this one's for everyone else, if you feel sick, please stay home. It's one of the best things you can do for your community.
But hey, what if you do everything right and you still get sick? The plan just shifts a little.
It's all about care and recovery. The basics are the most important. Get as much rest as you possibly can, drink plenty of fluids to stay hydrated, and definitely talk to a doctor. They can guide you and make sure no serious complications are popping up.
All right, so if you take away just 3 things from all this, make it these. First, the flu is way, way more severe than a cold. Don't mix them up. Second, those big red flags are a sudden high fever and those deep full-body aches. And third, your best bet is always a good defense. Prevention really is everything.
So, we've broken down the symptoms, the risks, and the battle plan. The real question now isn't just about what you know, but about what you're going to do with that information. So looking ahead, let me ask you, are you prepared for flu season? Thanks for joining me for this explainer.